Hello everyone, it's me, Dalton from Madden Sports. Today is an important day. This is the last game for regular season for the Lions now. And, for the Packers too. Now, these two faced off beginning of the season. Lions had gotten their first loss from the Green Bay Packers. Now, Lamar Jackson, we gotta hand it to the man. He's an amazing quarterback. There's no doubt about it. Justin Fields, he's been dominating all those football teams. So could this be redemption for him on this? Could he maybe get the Lions another amazing win? Or could the Packers break that streak, that long 12, 11 game winning streak that they've had? This is going to be interesting to see and watch. Lions have clinched the division for the NFC, so much they'll have first round bye, like for the first week of football, so that would be huge. What they're going to do, like which quarterback is going to be the big part of the Super Bowl, we don't know. But talking to the coaches, he says he's going with the one who's more hungry for it. Who's more hungry to get us to that Super Bowl. And I think all the players are hungry. There's no doubt about it. But it would depend on who practiced the hardest and who can play the best. That's all that counts with it. So, I'll leave this to Brandon Gaughan, Charles Davis as usual. And we'll get back to this game after it's all said and done. Back to those boys.
Today, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's Week 18 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Justin Fields and the Detroit Lions taking on Lamar Jackson and the Green Bay Packers.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaughan. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Here's Jarvis Landry now on the return. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. Leading him out, the rookie from Ohio State at 22 years of age, it's Justin Fields.
But when I reviewed last week's game and saw the 4 touchdown passes that he threw, I thought about you during the Turkey Bowl last year.
Yeah,
you guys had the same stats, except he got the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award with his.
He got touchdowns, I got picks. I like going back watching the film with you, and we thought it was a good performance in person. Obviously was, but you thought even better on tape. It was really something to watch.
Yeah, what I loved was how he spread it around. A lot of people involved in the passing offense. 4 touchdown passes culminated it.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Fields now to throw. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
A play fake, now Fields to throw. He'll buy some time right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Rashawn Gary. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And oh, that nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way he wanted to start this ball game as it brings up 4th down. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. And with that last field goal, that puts him now at 300 made on his career, and that is something to celebrate.
And that puts him in the top 30 all time. So he's really made a mark, and he's got plenty of life left in that leg, that's for sure.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They're led out by the NFL's MVP from 2019, now in his 4th season out of Louisville, Lamar Jackson.
And he is hot, hot, hot. Yeah, okay, so there's a blemish in there, right? He did throw 1 interception in the last game.
But 5 touchdown passes.
Okay, that's the offset you want.
I say bench him. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
You are tough, Coach. I thought the ratio was if you got to 3-1, your quarterback was operating at peak efficiency. 5-1.
And a win.
And a win? Yeah, just let him keep throwing it.
And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Now this defense for the Lions, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
Play action. Now Jackson. And the open receiver, it's Robert Woods. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd down, they'll go with Akers again. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. And Woods has it complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
And that one off the mark behind him. Incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw is Jackson. That'll be caught. It's Steven Sims. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 27-yard line. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield. Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Gonna throw deep for the end zone. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. Rohrwasser's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So matching field goals on our opening 2 drives.
Yeah, it feels like 2 boxers feeling each other out here in the early going of the game, right? Exchanging some jabs, but none of the heavy stuff just yet.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here now a look at Melvin Gordon. And a week ago, as you get a look at the numbers, well over 100 yards, he was on fire.
He was on fire. Obviously, the offensive line was on fire, all the guys who were trying to assist him. But you know who else was? The play caller. Because his ego totally got out of the way, and he kept calling the plays that were working over and over, and they really didn't stop him.
Now the challenge, can they duplicate it? 3-3, a tight one after 1 on EA Sports. Now on 2nd and 13. Fields. He lets it fly for Lockett. And that ball incomplete. He couldn't work free from his defender, and now it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. So no gain on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Flushed out right. And Jackson going to have the 1st down as he will get to the ground to avoid the contact.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off. They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Here's a run with Akers on 2nd down. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Forced out to his left. And his bid for the 1st down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation. They'll run with Penny. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Surprised at all that they went with a fullback there?
Not at all, because it harkened back to the days where we watched these games almost in black and white, right? The stocky guy, the strong guy, the powerful guy with leg drive. Give him the football, and even if the blocking isn't perfect, he has the ability to scatter bodies and move people enough to pick up first downs. That's what we just saw right there.
On second down now, Akers able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
So we're trading first half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. Got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC on the up. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Rashawn Gary able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. Back to throw, Fields. He lets it fly for Lockett. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. Here's Johnny Hacker now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. So, Charles, we have reached the end here of a long season, Week 18, which we don't say very often, although this is not the first Week 18 that the NFL has ever seen.
Not at all, and Brandon, some of the people might be a little bit too young to remember. But back in 1993, the league experimented with giving teams 2 open weeks for the year. And we also saw Week 18 when the league was on pause for a few weeks in 2001 following the attacks on September 11th.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield. It's caught inside the 25. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. It's a big play there for Green Bay. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Touchdown, Packers! Robert Woods, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Packers add on to their lead. The touchdown all set up by the big play one snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play, got the momentum going, right? That's, you create it with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
Extra point splits the uprights, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This taken in at the goal line. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Here's Fields. He lets it fly from Lockett, and that nearly intercepted. Well, the free safety roaming into position almost had it, but it's 2nd down. These two teams, they met up earlier in the year, back in week 2, and it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon, and this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field, and this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. Escaping the pressure right. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 21. Fields. And that's checked down to Gordon. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. And he just clocked it. But the clock wasn't even moving. Well, that's one you don't see very often, a wasted down. Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. Wide open receiver complete. Touchdown. Tyler Lockett. As the 1st half is winding down. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the 1st half. Well, with that touchdown pass, I'm going to bring up a point from earlier in the year. Some of the fans were saying, when do we turn to the rookie? Well, he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I love the fact that the fans are bringing that up because I'm not the head coach, okay? So he's got to deal with it. But I think it's a legitimate question. With the way their season...
And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is.
Well, they tried to get 2. And ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Packer offense heading back for one final 1st half drive. And they really won't have much time to work with, just 19 seconds showing on the clock. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this 1st half. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down. Now it's Jackson. And Cooks has it over the middle. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the 1st half. On 2nd down, Akers, and he'll get it down here to the 43. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. And in the 2nd quarter, it's the Bears who are out in front. Randall Cobb, a touchdown reception. From there, let's get to Philadelphia as we check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. Patrick Mahomes looking good. 2 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get out to Jacksonville. See what's happening with the Jaguars at TIAA Bank Field. And you can see there it's the visiting Colts who have the lead in that one. Teddy Bridgewater with a touchdown pass. In the game you're watching, we've seen a strong first half out of Lamar Jackson. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. Well, the Packers ready to go to start quarter number 3. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
Second down, they'll go with Akers again. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And Ingram holds it in. 30, 10, 5, touchdown, Packers. Evan Ingram, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
Eluding the pressure right. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
As a rookie quarterback, that's exactly how you endear yourself to your teammates. Give it up for the cause. It's also how you end up on the training table, too.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. Coach doesn't like it. Teammates love it. Where do you fall on it?
Well, I fall on wanting to endear yourself to your teammates, but pick your spots. Be smart about it. They need you for the full season.
Yeah, the rookie's going to learn as he goes. Kyle Long back from retirement, the guilty party on that one. To throw is Fields. He's going deep for Brown. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going, a little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Now a first down throw, Fields. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Fields. Flush to his right. And his throw here
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 87 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. This will be caught by Brown. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. And quickly, they get to the line. One play action, Fields. And that'll be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The first throw here for the backup Garoppolo. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3 and not giving up 6.
Garoppolo to throw for it on 4th. Nifty move, and in for the Lions touchdown. Melvin Gordon with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown. It seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
They got into the end zone.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats over time may bear out that running the ball will at least be the equal of throwing it in that situation.
Green Bay's offense ready to go again. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails, because they had it going pretty good last time too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Jackson. He gets it to Cooks. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
Touchdown, Packers! Tyler Johnson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
The catch and the touchdown, they were the end result of a terrific route run by the receiver.
extra point right down the middle, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Melvin Gordon now, he and the offense, they trot back out there. They'll be looking to get in the end zone again. Had the touchdown, as you see, last drive on 4 carries. And during the break, we were looking at some of the replays from the previous drive. Really good holes created, great space.
Yeah, I like the observation you had there during that break about, okay, they've got to do something to slow down their runners. So is it bringing in more defensive linemen? Is it dropping in extra linebackers? What are you going to do? Personally, I'm going to take my safety and drop him into the box. I'm going to have at least 7 in there until he shows that he can beat me through the air. Yeah. I've got to slow down the running game.
I was just going to say, you'll take the exposure in the passing game over the top until you can prove that you can stop the running game.
Sometimes you go cold because you haven't thrown it in a while. Let's see if he can heat up again.
And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. Now Fields steps away to his left, and he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Now it's Fields. Oh, I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there, as that's batted down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
2nd and 10. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. Rolling to his right. He's going deep for Brown. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A big play there for Detroit.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. 1st and goal, Melvin Gordon. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. Bottled up, fumble. It's out, it's loose. And the Packers pick it up.
Well, give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but that's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
Instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. They'll go again here with Akers. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. 52 yards rushing for him now to this point. The Packers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And he is going to have a Packers first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2. They'll run on first down with Akers. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
A gain of 6 there on first. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Throwing is Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Now it's Jackson. Finding some room at midfield. And brought down across the 50 to the 49-yard line.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because, to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Going right back to Akers. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. And that's complete to Cooks. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the first, right around the 42. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Jackson. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And the Lions are right back in this football game. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Flushed out right. He hits his target, Lockett. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Escaping the pressure right. Returning right back to Lockett. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Throwing now is Garoppolo. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining. Again, Gordon on 2nd and goal. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Melvin Gordon, his 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Lions have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Tucker with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So a minute and change to go, and this is going to be an onside kick. And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now this one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Down to a knee goes Jackson, and that should seal it.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right? Just us against the world and get it done. How happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And I tell you, these division games never for the faint of heart, but they come through with a tight victory here on the road.
And you find yourself working harder in a game like this too, don't you?
Yeah,
because you got to stay with it, right? You got to stay with it. You got to stay locked in. It's our type of a game. And you just mentioned it. Division game, on the road, tight, and they find a way to win it. Way to hunker down, as my old coach used to say, and find your way through.
So for Green Bay, they do get the victory here in the season finale, but it was altogether a somewhat disappointing season as they'll wind up at 6-11. And by just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have. Meanwhile, for the Lions, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And the playoffs will run through their house as they'll get the week off and get set to...
Oh my God. Oh my God. They lost. The Lions lost. That was a huge upset. Great way to end the season, Packers. I guess the Green Bay Packers are still better than the Lions on this. But the Lions, they tried really hard going into the second half to try and come back from that big upset, score. Which explains why it was 27-22. But, oh man. I bet Justin Fields is, really having a hard time right now. I bet the entire team is having a hard time. I mean, they've won 11, 12 games consecutively. And then when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, the team that crushed their streak at the beginning of the season, crushes another streak of theirs. That was even I wasn't expecting. That was like, seeing the Undertaker's streak get broken at WrestleMania for the first time. That was, oof. But, Lions are still on top. We'll tell them that. Lions are still on top. They still get to go into playoffs and hopefully maybe even Super Bowl. If they, keep winning. For at least, all their Lions fans anyways. But, Packers, it's the end of the season for them. Hopefully, during the off season, they can right their mistakes, get better, get the team better, and capitalize with that in the years ahead. So this is Dalton from Madden Sports. We'll catch you on the first playoff matchup. But until then, so long, ladies and gentlemen.